Are you new? You can't be serious. Do my best Yuno impression of that. Are you new? Now Yuno is much more like, are you new? So hello everyone, morning here. We're gonna do, of course, review of Black Clover episode 159, everyone. We're back now, right, with real... I should say real. I mean, I enjoyed the Black Clover fillers. I don't say that to be like this hyping YouTuber or whatever media guy. Like, oh, I love everything. Subscribe, press the like button, I love everything. No, but I think I do genuinely think that, of course, the Black Clover fillers were pretty good, right? Some of them, of course, worse and some were better. Obviously, some parts were really good, like the Melona versus Yami. That shit was lit, and of course the. You know, the captain fights and so on, right? And also, as I mentioned in the reaction earlier today, like the dating part, like Charlotte, Yami, like Gordon with Angel, that was nice. She's like, oh, you must make a doll to me? Oh, would you like that? that was nice. So, it was a really good, you know, feelings. But now then, it's still nice to be back at, I would say, the real storyline, right? The real mystery. You know, I'm an anime only, right? So I'm just throwing out my theories now, and of course my... how say it? Also, you know, like, oh, this happened. Are you near? So that's what I'm talking about. That. So that's been, of course, missing during the filler. Because obviously the filler has been mostly comedic, right? It hasn't been that much like, oh, interesting. Yuno is the son of the king. Yeah. So here we are, of course. Now let's review. Been a while since I felt like I reviewed. How say it? I see, obviously not last week then, but except last week, whatever, here's my point. Let's talk about it. So Yuno is a prince, and I do genuinely feel like, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm not surprised. It's a little bit like, of course she is. It's a little bit like that, but oh, Yuno is a prince, like why wouldn't it be a prince? It's a little bit like that, I feel, where you're like, well, I expected Yuno to be the prince, because it's Yuno, so of course he's like the prince of the Spade Kingdom or something. So yeah, you get the information right. And this guy then, which of course is a little sage, right? We saw him earlier in the previous episode. He says that Yuno looks exactly the same as Seal, I think I said right? Seal, not like Seal, whatever. Which is then, I suppose, Yuno's father, right? Perhaps a grandfather, but very likely then Yuno's father, and I suppose then used to be the king of the Spade Kingdom until, you know, the evil Akuma, the bad guys, the Dark Triad, I suppose, killed Yuno's father, right? That seems to be like a no-brainer. Or maybe his father's in exile, but they probably killed his father. That's me guessing, of course. We haven't seen any confirmation on that. But that's probably happened, right? They probably killed both his parents, but before they died, his mom would ever manage to, like, you know, hand over the baby Yuno with the, as he mentioned, to the stone, right, the magical stone thing, which actually is supposed to be with the elf stone, but still, yeah, that thing, and you know, and then Yuno was left at the orphanage in the peaceful Clover Kingdom, right? So what that makes me think about too is, of course, Asta, right? Asta. Does Asta has a parent? Maybe some. I just think that it would make sense if Asta's parents is also from the Spade Kingdom. Then that's like my first. My first thought is, yeah, if Asta's parents are also from the Spade Kingdom, and perhaps Asta's mom or dad or whatever is the one to like escape with Yuno and Asta, right? And then maybe died or whatever, but at least managed to like escape with them. Or it could have been Yuno's mom or something, right? Escaping with Asta and Yuno, and then she died, but she managed to, like, you know, like reach the Clover Kingdom and like hand off Asta and Yuno's babies. That makes sense, at least. It makes sense that their parents know each other for some reason, right? So given that Yuno's father is like the king, I guess, or the former king of Spade Kingdom, obviously before they probably killed him, you know, it would make sense if Asta's parents are some kind of I don't know, like a captain level character in the Spade, right? A general or whatever. You know, like it makes sense to me then if Asta's parent, right, is some kind of close to the king, right? So if you picture it was the Clover Kingdom, you know, and Yami, maybe it would be, you know, Yami, I would say, is the closest companion, right, to Julius, except of course Max, but yeah, but even for the captain, right? So it would make sense that maybe like if there wasn't the Clover Kingdom and Julius is dying and he like take my son and run away, and you know, and he will give it to Yami, and Yami's like, I have my own son, and you know, so something like that. So I'm picturing that. Asta's parent is probably from Spade Kingdom to mention, and also then probably connected to Yuno's parent, right? So if Yuno's parents are the king or the queen and so on, Asta's parent is probably like a general or a captain or whatever, right, in that kingdom, or best friend somehow, or maybe like a lady in wait or some kind of, you know, court jester. No, but something like, for example, from a typical historical aspect, what you usually have is like a lady in wait, right? Like a house, basically like the queen's aide, right? The queen's friend, or like some, usually it's another noble lady or something like that, right? But it could also be some poor woman that the queen likes, and, you know, she helps the queen with her stuff, right? Like that a typical storyline from like a historical aspect is that, you know, like the Moses and so on, right, where the king is like, oh, we have to take this baby, and then the queen or the princess or whatever gives her baby to her aide, right, to the lady in wait, and then the lady in wait is the one to, you know, escape with the baby, and then like maybe she dies or whatever, but maybe she raises the baby. That's a pretty common thing too, I guess, in many other mythologies and historical things, right, where like the princess best friend, like the lady in wait, and takes the baby, right, and raises it as their own in some other countries. So on. It's a pretty classic exile storyline, right? Here, of course, Asta and Yuno were raised by at the orphanage, but I can definitely see something like Asta's mom is Yuno's mom's best friend, or as I mentioned, a court lady or something like that, right? That she takes like she takes Yuno and Asta and escapes with them, and then she dies, but she managed to get the babies to the Clover Kingdom or something like that. That's what I'm guessing, but I'm getting based on, you know, classic tropes and how usually that kind of goes down, right? Because of course, like Moses, right, the baby in the, you know, they escape with the babies. So it's a pretty classic, right? Yuno and Asta, the kind of legendary babies that they escape with. But anyway, something like that. And the general thing that Yuno is, oh, he's a prince. It's a little bit, it feels like classic Yuno, because he's already a goddamn prince. He's a double prince now. Oh, you can't be serious. Yuno is a prince again. I mean, clearly, it's never confirmed, right, in the anime, but it's like, yeah, Yuno is clearly the son of Lich. He has his mama, you know, his mother had the power, his mama had the power of wind, right? As we saw when, you know, she was pregnant and so on, Princess Tita there. And she has the power of wind. Yuno has wind magic. I mean, like, come on, it's a no-brainer. Clearly he's the elf son of, like, the unborn son of Lich and so on, right there. Pretty clear. Raya also mentioned it. Of course he can do it, because he's Lich, but he didn't say it, right? So, but anyway, so Yuno was already the prince of the elves. He was already the elf prince. So it's a little bit like, oh, of course he's the prince also of the Spade Kingdom. He's double prince. Double the prince. He's a prince of two countries. An historical fallen country and like an occupied country or something. I mean, I guess in history a lot of people were actually prince and prince of more than one country, because the parents were married from two different countries, I suppose. But but still, it's like, yeah, of course he is. Of course he's a prince also. What does that mean? It probably means that, I'll give you a little bit from the opening and so on as well, right? It probably means that Yuno is gonna fight. Maybe is it open? He's gonna fight, of course. He's gonna fight the Spade Kingdom, and the person he's gonna fight is probably the person that killed his father, right? That's what I'm going at, yeah. Like, I don't know exactly, of course, because I'm an enemy only, but it seems to me that Yuno will obviously go in and fight the people at Spade, and he will most likely then fight the person specifically that killed his parent or parents or so on. That would be my guess, and that's probably gonna be accurate. I think that's gonna be very. The chance of being, I mean, the likelihood of him fighting his parents' murderer seems to be immensely high for me, at least. So I feel like I'm 99% sure on that. I'm pretty sure that Yuno is definitely gonna avenge his parents, right? That's gonna be like a clear thing's gonna happen. I'm like, you know what's gonna happen, right? So that's probably what this is coming to here. Next episode, I think it's gonna explain to Yuno his parents, right? Explain why he got the magical stone, right? That is elf stone though, and so on. It's also kind of lucky that for the elves, we think about it, because so Yuno is from the Spade Kingdom. He has this, I guess the stone is like the Spade Royal Stone or something like that. It's my guess then, you know, the Yuno's birth stone, right? And that magical stone, as we know, of course, is supposed to go to, you know, the elf summoning thing, and also of course the first king, right? So I guess it's lucky for the elves that Yuno was there, because otherwise that stone would have been in like the Spade Kingdom, and they would have to fight the Spade Demon guys. So I guess they lucked out on that. But otherwise, they would have to invade the Spade Kingdom, right, to get that stone from Yuno or Yuno's parents or family, whatever. Maybe they could have done it, but still, like it's a little bit like, yeah, lucky for them that that stone happened to be back then in the Clover Kingdom, because it's supposed to be the Spade. I mean, it's supposed, but like, I guess that stone was the Spade Kingdom, right, for many years before that. But anyway, let's talk about some other stuff then. But that's kind of my Yuno things. I will say this thing. I actually went and did read the chapter now, or just quickly, because that's one thing, of course, I was wondering, and that's a fan service. Let's be honest here. Where's my Melona? No, but like, where's my Mimosa in Oppai? No, but seriously, so I was like, I went to read the chapter, just quickly comparing it, because I know they usually do these weird things, unfortunately, in the anime, where they, like, it's actually in the Onsen episode. In the Onsen episode, of course, we, you know, find the ultimate woman with Melona and so on, right? In that episode, they clearly kind of like, because in the manga, it's actually quite, like it's quite graphic, but not bad. I mean, of course, it's like, you know, shonen manga, so they can miss covering their, you know what I mean? But it's actually, it's even more, you know, voluptuous, right, than in the anime, much more actually. And so I quickly wondered, I just found a chapter for the review here after watching anime, just to compare just this scene, right, like the bat scene, Undine and so on. And yeah, wow, the anime was really removing a big thing there, which is unfortunate. And I mean, two big things, when I correct myself. No, but seriously, what happens in the anime, which is the manga, it's kind of the same scene, right? Like, the queen is like, ah, you girls are my best friends now. Let's talk about cute boys. Who is doing Asta currently? You're all three doing it, right? Ah, Mimosa. Like, it's kind of the same, you know, she's like best friends and so on. But actually what happens immediately is a very classic, like, harem ecchi scene where the queen enters, and she's like, oh my god, you know, you guys are so pretty. And Noelle is like, oh my god, Mimosa, your oppais are even bigger than last time, you goddamn girl, stop growing bigger than me, right? So Noelle is angry that Mimosa has bigger, you know, bigger knockers. And then the queen's like, oh, can I touch them? And then the queen, yeah, the queen grabs Mimosa. Yeah, the queen is like, you know, she goes for Mimosa's stuff. And Mimosa's like, oh my god, and she's like, oh, come on, we're best friends, I wanna get a good, I wanna measure up, right? So yeah, so the queen does that stuff and really gonna, so that completely removed here. God damn it, anime! They completely removed the part of the queen being like, oh my god, Mimosa, we best friends. So yeah, they completely removed that. But that's basically the difference there. That the queen is, she's getting very, very friendly with Mimosa, and of course Mimosa's like, ah, I mean, okay, kinda okay, maybe not, and. You know, it's classic horror match jokes, and then they start talking about boys and, you know, that stuff, right? And Nero is like, Asta is a nice couch, it's a very nice chair for me, and so on, right? So it's always the same, but yeah, they did remove the queen getting very friendly with Mimosa, unfortunately. But anyway, the last theme, of course, Godzilla Charmy. So yeah, Godzilla Charmy. I said it in the reaction part, I said it before I even watched the episode in my other video, but I'm thinking that Mimosa, I'm like Mimosa. That's like, I'm stuck on Mimosa now. No, but I'm thinking that Charmy, right? That Charmy is super fatty Godzilla now, and as soon as she fights the next time, I think, for real, right? I mean, not like, you know, Asta real fight, but actually fights some Spade, evil, demon, whatever. She's probably gonna be like, oh, it's time to muscle up, time to be all, and she'll probably slim down and be like dwarf, muscular, wolf form, or something, right? Probably. I think that's gonna happen. Hopefully. I would not like to see her, as I mentioned in the reaction part, I would like to see her stay fat until she fights, right? I think it's more fun. But I can see her slim down immediately in this episode, because Charmy is weird, right? So she's like, oh, no, I haven't eaten in 1 day, so now I'm slim again. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. She's like, oh, super slim and super muscular. Oh, I didn't eat in like 1 day, so now I'm like super fit. That wouldn't surprise me. But what I'm hoping for, of course, is that she stays fat, and then eventually 10 plus episode later now, fights a Spade person, right? And then she's like, oh, you wanna see my real power? Oh, that's like, oh, that's it. That's just like, muscle, like it's super muscular too. I would love to see her slimming, not just slimming down, but also getting, you know, all ripped, right? Just turning into a dwarf form. That's my hope, that Charmy is gonna go from this like fat into immediately, you know, super muscular Charmy. It's like, yeah, you know what? This is a real me, yeah, dwarf Charmy, muscular wolf Charmy. And she gets all aggressive and super muscular, but probably slims down, but come on. But anyway, that's a good part there where, of course, Charmy now is super fat, super genius apparently, right? Charmy's like, like, I like how she's sure, as you said, like she's a super genius and she's like an amazing, talented magician, but she's also insane and I can't understand her logic or her reasoning. But I just like explained to her the best way I could with like food, and now she's like enormously powerful, but I don't understand what she's doing, and she's just being like an annoying natural disaster of charm instead. And he's just like, God damn it, why did I teach her stuff? Because she's so powerful now, because she's crazy. But I like the whole idea that Charmy is, you know, a super talented, one of the strongest characters in the anime, right? But she's just, you know, a weirdo, and like he said, he can't understand her logical reasoning whatsoever, where he's like, I just told her in her language, oh, you want to get more food? Well, if you do this thing, you can get more. And she's like, oh, I see, more food. And then you do this rune thing, you can produce more food. Oh, more food, yes, more food! And now she's like, Godzilla. I was like, okay, yeah, why not? That's Charmy for you. But yeah, a good episode, I think, as I mentioned in the other video. The beginning though was a little lacking. Obviously the fan service was lacking. That's true though. Fan service was, it definitely was lacking. You know, and generally the scene felt a little, yeah, not detailed, right? They removed the mimosa seed, and they removed, just generally didn't really detail out the girls, right? So that could have been better. Same thing with the fight with like, you know, that felt a little bit like, whatever. So the first 10 minutes were a little bit like, they kind of cutting corners here, and yeah. But anyway, that's the record of you guys. Chat about the course today. We have slime coming out. Rimmaru-sama is coming today. That's very exciting. I'm a big fan, of course, of slime. 2 years from now, it's gonna be awesome slaying slime again. Kind of when I had, yeah, watching Black Clover every week since then. So Black Clover we're still top of. We're finally gonna see some Rimmaru-sama later today. So subscribe and have a great day.